Hello and welcome to DCI's latest video blog. My name is Vanessa and I'm joined today by Jana. We are both managers as well as senior consultants with DCI. The school year is right around the corner, so we thought it would be a great idea to give you some tips and friendly reminders in regards to what are good best practices when it comes to your outreach and recruitment efforts. And what better place to do it than in a beautiful college campus, so we hope you enjoy. Jana, why is it important? Why should we start thinking about this now?
Well, we see a lot of contractors using a variety of outreach and recruitment efforts and a variety of methods for evaluating those outreach and recruitment efforts. So today we wanted to focus on looking at corporate and local level efforts and how that is beneficial to contractors. So what we'd like to do is actually just share some best tips for engaging in outreach and recruitment and how you might document that. So our first tip is actually related to using diverse recruitment sources. Often you find that contractors are successful when they pair corporate and local level recruitment efforts. So they look at the corporate wide, tie that to the values and the goals of the organization. And then once they start looking at the local level, it's going to be more establishment based, usually per the AAP or even diversity and inclusion metrics. And they can tie that to placement goals or other initiatives with the organization.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great segue to our tip number 2, and it focuses on documentation. So hopefully, if you're able to tie in those corporate initiatives and bring them down to that local level, corporate usually does a good job at documenting everything that they do. But when it comes to the local level, it's always good to have what we call the who, what, and when of documentation. So who is it that you're engaging with? Is there a certain organization that you're partnering with or a certain person? What exactly are you doing and when are you doing it? Especially if you're in an audit situation, it's always good to have this robust documentation because you should definitely include what you're doing at a global corporate level, but it kind of serves a lot more of a purpose if you show what you're doing locally to engage in activity and initiatives that are hopefully helping you with meeting your placement goals.
I absolutely agree. And that brings us to our third and final tip, which is related to the measurement, monitoring, and effectiveness of your outreach and recruitment efforts. So when you have this documentation in place, it really serves you well to be able to go back and do an annual. Often you're also getting kind of continuous feedback, so also doing a continuous look at what the effectiveness looks like of your outreach and recruitment efforts. So that wraps up our tips for today. We did cover 3 today, so just to review those really briefly. Looking at the use of diverse resources, corporate and local level, documentation of all of your outreach and recruitment efforts, that's looking at the who, the what, and the when, and then finally monitoring those efforts throughout the year.
We hope these tips were helpful for you and that you'll put them into practice. Happy recruiting!